Well, hey everybody, welcome back. Okay guys, we're gonna have a lot of fun this weekend because this weekend it's all about smaller mines, but in really remote areas. And that's exactly where we're at right now. Now the reason I'm starting this episode off right here inside of the mine is because today we got a cold front moving in and the winds outside are blowing at 50 miles an hour. It's a crazy day and brr, it's chilly. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. This mine right here took me almost 3 hours to get to, and an hour of that was climbing through a really nasty wash. But thanks to old Bob's brand new suspension, we got here, no problem at all. All right, guys, but before we get started, real quick, big thank you to all of you who bid it on a rock on last week's episode, and you help raise the channel's funds a little bit past $1,500. And when we add that money to what was already in the piggy bank, we're coming in real fast on the $5,000 needed to buy that new MAV-3 drone. The channel needs that because this coming summer, we're going to be exploring some fantastic, really large mines that are going to require some awesome cinematic shots that drone is going to provide. All right, guys, well, without further ado, let's get started on this old mine. All right, guys, let's see what we've got in here. Yeah, so this weekend, I'm just jumping right into it. No fancy drone footage type intros because it's just too darn windy outside. And if I tried to take my little drone up there, there's no doubt I'd have a flyaway and I'd never see that drone ever again. Now, I was coming up to this location, I couldn't help but notice all of the big veins of galena popping up outside on the surface. Yep, I was seeing galena. Now look at this vein, or look at how they're following the strata right here. Notice that it's at a lower right to upper left dip. Now we're not necessarily going into a vein right here. Well, I think what they're trying to do is get up further into the mountain and hopefully we'll come into a cross cut. Yeah, there's no indication of a vein anywhere that I can see right here. This is definitely was blasted in for haulage. That's why it's so wide and so tall. It's at least, 4 feet wide on the floor, 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. I can stand straight up without being hunched over. Here we have an artifact. Down here, just an old tin can. What are the chances of it having a label, huh? Nope, nothing. All right, we're coming into pack rat nests. And around the corner here, let's look. Wow. Well, that's just a small drift going up that direction, but look at the floor. Completely filled with cholla needles. So we got a big juicy pack rat. He's living up there somewhere. No, I'm not walking through that stuff. Nope. All right, what's up here? We got a bat. There was a paint can on the floor. The mine's starting to turn around, making a little bit bend to the right. But that's it. That's as far as they were going. Now, look at the hanging wall on the right-hand side. See that? But other than, let me point it out with the laser here, now you can see there is something going on. It's about 2.5 feet wide right through that section. Let's go up here and get a closer look at it. Yeah, that's just igneous rock. That's all it is. There's no indication of galena or any kind of a mineable material. So that tells me that indeed this was intended to be a haulage adit, and they were following the angle here because it's always a lot easier to blast in with the grain of the rock rather than going against the grain of the rock. Okay, this makes sense to me because the direction of travel that we just walked into this mine, if you were to continue on and go up and over the hill, I saw some other mines on the other side of this hill, and maybe that's what they were trying to do, is come in at it and connect with mines further on the other side. Okay, well, I'm going to head back outside, jump in old Bob, and we're going to go over there and see what those are all about. All right, guys, here I am on the other side of the hill. Thank goodness this side is the south side, so we're kind of getting a break from the wind over here. Sure wish I could fly my drone for you guys, but not on a day like today. Now, look up on the side of that hill, okay? You can see what appears to be an incline shaft. We are directly on the other side of where that haulage adit was. So let's head up there and see what we can find. All right, guys, made it. I'm gonna catch my breath a second, get out of this really cold wind. Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, there we go. That was a little bit of a hike. You can see old Bob down there in the bottom. And what I thought was gonna be the top part of a possible incline shaft with maybe rail turned out to be a windlass. That's what we have right there. So the hand cranked winch part of the windlass would be extended between those two upright boards right there, and that's what they were using to winch out the ore bucket from this pocket of galena. And speaking of galena, boy oh boy, do we have a lot of it down here. Let me show you some fine pieces. Look down on the ground here. It's absolutely everywhere. I'm gonna work my way up towards the pocket and show you guys what I'm talking about. This is perfect because see, last week I offered some galena up on the eBay site. Now look at here it is right from the vein. Look at that piece right there. Okay, now let's continue along. Look at this big shiny one. I'm gonna move this stick aside. Let's see if I can without getting stuck. There we go. One second here. Look at this one, guys. Look at the glint on that one. Isn't that pretty? So what they were going after here was silver. The fact that I'm seeing a lot of these pieces of galena being tossed aside, like look at this one. Would you look at the size of that? Let me put my hand down by it so you can see what I'm talking about. Holy cow. Wait, let me get my footing here. Look at that. That thing weighs like 5 pounds. Okay, that's a beautiful specimen. That's gorgeous. I'm gonna offer that one up. That's absolutely beautiful. Been a perfect example of what we're finding at the mine today. Okay, now let's continue on. Anyways, back what I was talking about, the fact that they're throwing that off to the side tells me that they weren't interested in the lead. They were only interested in the silver. So they were looking for really nice chunky pieces. For example, like this one here, another beautiful piece. Right there. That's a nice one too, guys. That one, I think I'll grab 3 for you. Grab, this one's a little bit smaller. Yeah, I'll try to find, no, that one has good glint on it too. Here, I'll set them off to the side right there. I'll remember to pick them up on the way out. Okay, let me show you where they were pulling this from. Let me turn the lights on. You're gonna like this. There's the vein, right here. Put my hand up there for size comparison. Look at how sparkly. And I rotate the camera back and forth, just like they do on those fancy jewelry shows. That's all galena. And then down here to the right, the vein continued on, and you notice that the vein had a dip. See how it's angled? I'm going to point the laser at it right here. Come on, laser. Right there. It's about 10 inches across. Okay, has a dip of about 80 degrees from upper left to lower right, and it went down here into this pocket. Look at that. Wow. For those of you who like sparkly galena, this is the mine from you. And look at the quartz mixed in with it. It almost looks like breccia, or not breccia, but barite. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this is a small pocket they were picking at. Take a look at what's down here. So this is why they erected their windlass, so that they could get down here and go after this real large pocket that I'm climbing into right now. Okay. Wow, it's just everywhere. Let me show you on the floor. Look at it, all of it glinting. And then over here, right over here, okay, the vein continues right there. Look at it, how beautiful, huh? Now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna try, oh, we have some chalcanthite. See the blue right there? See the blue on there? It's almost coming in on a possibly azurite too. So we got some copper minerals running with this. Let me turn my lights down a second. We're gonna go to a different mode. Sometimes brighter is better, sometimes dimmer is better on these veins. But this pocket you're looking into right now, as I point the laser, see right here, from about there all the way across to right in here, actually down right there, we're looking at 5 feet across this area. Very cool. And somebody came up in here and took a sample. See that little hidey hole? They picked that right out to see what they could find for silver. Okay, turn it back around here, down in the bottom. Look at that big piece. Just a monster. I'll try to get down here without getting cholla needles into me. Absolute monster, but that one's way too big to offer up on the eBay site. Okay, guys, well, there's another one higher up on the hill. Let's go take a closer look at that one and see if these veins of galena are getting any larger. We'll see you up there. Okay, guys, there we are. All right, give me a minute. Again, I'm gonna get out of the wind. Whew, boy, that wind's a-blowing today. I'm gonna catch my breath. I'll be right back. Yahoo! All right, guys, I hope you can hear me through the microphone. It's just howling out here today, but that thing before me there is a makeshift tramway. So they would have ran a cable between that one, and let me point it out to you. Look down there in the bottom. Right down there, right there. There's another one in the bottom. So they would have had a cable stretched between the two and hauling off this galena. And speaking of galena again, wait till you see what we have over here. Look at this. Unbelievable. Look at the pile. Let me make sure my lights are on here. Look at this. Now that's a pile. Absolutely incredible. Wow. Look at the glint on that one. That one is absolutely gorgeous. Just gorgeous. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, that's a beautiful specimen, guys. Let's look around some more. Oh, they're all beautiful, really. But we're gonna grab one. All right, let me set that down for a second here. I'm gonna show you where all this was coming from. Now look at the vein here, right there. Just like at the last location, the vein continues to dip at about 80 degrees from upper right to lower left. Right there, look. And it's about 3 feet across, going down, 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 all the way into the bottom, deeper and deeper. Right there. You can clearly see it. It's well defined. Okay, now getting back to that main haulage adit that we started this episode. Okay, all right, let me point the camera back this way and I'll explain to you the thought process behind what they were doing. Well, right now the camera is pointing towards that haulage adit, but it's located on the other side of this hill. So those miners knew that this vein of galena was dipping at this angle down. So they went to the other side of the hill and their intentions were to intersect with it. That's why when we were going up that haulage adit, we weren't finding any mineable materials. It was just worthless rock. So this is what they were trying to intersect. What's the logic behind that, you say? Well, as you go deeper and deeper into these veins of galena, oftentimes the silver content, after you do your assay, the silver content gets higher and higher. Okay, that's why they figured, hey, let's drop in a horizontal haulage adit lower on the hill, come in, intersect it at a deeper depth, and hopefully the silver values will pick back up. But unfortunately, it never happened, which tells me more than likely this was another one of those mines that was probably started off right before World War II, and World War II kind of put the kibosh to everything. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna grab that piece I showed you. I'm gonna go back to the other mine, grab another piece, and work my way back to Old Bob, where it's a little bit warmer and a little bit less windy. Good gravy. All right, see you back there. All right, guys, made it back to the first location here. All right, and I've gathered up 4 pieces. Let me show them to you. All right, right there. So we got the big one. Now that one there, look at how long the crystals are on that one right there. Very elongated. And I was actually able to find a piece right there. Look at that. You can see the pyrite in it. Yep. And then that one off to the left too, you can see the quartz in that one also. Just beautiful specimens of galena. Now I'm going to put them up on the eBay site, but I don't know if I'll be able to get these up on the site for you right after you guys are watching this video, because here pretty quick I'm headed up to the Sheep Mountains to go search for Kenny Veach, right? Okay, and I might not be around to be able to get these shipped off to you. So here's what you need to do. For all of you that are interested in these 4 rocks, go over to my eBay site. The description is down the link is in the description area below. Head over there and subscribe for an eBay notification so that when I do put these up on the eBay site, you'll be notified that they're available, right? Because I plan on spending quite a considerable amount of time in the Sheep Mountains looking for Kenny, and I won't be around to ship these. So head over there, click on the eBay notifications, turn that on so you're notified when these become available. By the way, guys, up to this point, you probably noticed you haven't seen any commercials. That's because this video, I turned monetization off. This video is ad-free because I'm so appreciative of all of you putting in a bid on those beautiful rock specimens last weekend. So guys, this episode is for you. All right, I'm headed back to Old Bob. I'm gonna see what else I can find in this area. See you down there. All right, guys, here we are. I hop back into Old Bob. I traveled probably another 1,000, maybe 2,000 yards further to the south, and I found another one. So these miners were going after the silver in all of this galena, but boy, oh boy, let me tell you, I had no idea that today was going to turn out like it did in regards to finding awesome deposits of lead galena. This one here is absolutely spectacular. Now, you may be asking me, why is there so much galena in this area? What's going on? What's the geology behind this? Well, you often find lead deposits in areas of ancient lava flows, okay? Those hydrothermal fluids came up from deep in the earth through the cracks, and when they came in contact with these lava beds, they spread out into both lensed and tabular structures, okay? What we've been finding today are lens structures, okay? Well, actually, no, I take that back. That second mine we were in where I showed the vein running on that angle, that's actually that's a tabular structure. But anyways, the hydrothermal fluids come up, they hit these old lava fields, they spread out, and then they re-solidify into these big veins of lead galena. Now this one here is absolutely spectacular. Let me show you what I found. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit because right here at the portal, right here, coming right inside, let me get my camera figured out here. 1 second, folks. There we go. All right, so at one time there was a massive vein that ran right through that area. I'm going to point it out with the laser. Come on, laser, turn on. There we go. Okay, so you can see the laser right there. That vein structure ran all the way through here, but they chipped it out, and all that's left now is the hanging wall, okay? Now, look at that. Look at the sparkles in that right there. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to try to turn the light down a second. I'm going to get in real close on it, and you're going to see that it's very similar to what we've been finding all day, only these crystals are a lot smaller than some of the other ones that I grabbed up earlier. Okay, working our way into the mine. Turn my light on here. There we go. Helps to have your lights on, huh? There we go. Okay, now look at how all the way around. Wait, darn camera, come on now, work with me today. There we go. Everywhere you look in here, look at the back of the mine, how much it's glimmering. You see that? And I can see even tiny little bits and pieces of iron pyrite in there too. Look at this, just gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, I realize it's just lead, you know, but it's pretty. It makes these mines just shine and glimmer. And it's a lot of fun to explore them when they're just sparkling away like this one is. Look, as we continue to work across, I'm just pointing the camera at the vein. And now the vein's kind of breaking up into more stringer. It's stringer-like. All right, now look at what we have up in here. Take a look at this. Now, over there on the wall, let me show you the logic behind this incline shaft. Over there on the wall, that's a vein. Come on, laser, work. There. It's 4 feet across right there, okay? And it's dipping from upper left to lower right at roughly a 45-degree angle. So what they did is decided to follow the vein all the way straight down in that incline shaft, all right? But down there, it's all choked off. It doesn't go any further than that. What they were doing is after they mined the galena out from down there, then they started just throwing waste rock down in the hole, and the waste rock pinched off the rest of the incline shaft. Over here to my right, you can see there was a pocket. Yep. So the direction of travel, as I turn around here, going off that direction, that vein definitely had a dip to it about 45 degrees, going right up and out of the mountain. Look at that right there. At one time, they probably had some sort of a head frame up there, a winch. They were pulling it out. Okay, let's go ahead over here. Whoa. Well, without sliding down the... Look out. There we go. We don't want to slide down the incline shaft. Okay, what's up in here? Oh, wow, we got a big pile of it. Look at that. See, on camera, it probably looks gray. Now, when you see it like this, I'm going to get real close. Kind of put my fingers down into it. Right here. Let me turn that light down a bit. Look at this. It's just real fluffy. It looks like the sparkly stuff that you would use in makeup or eyeliner, eyeshadows, that kind of, see how it glints on my fingers? Now most of this is lead. So if you ever find yourself in a place like this and you see that around, you don't want to kick up dust because you don't want to get that lead in your lungs. And that's a big pile of it right now. So where's that big pile coming from? Well, let me show you. Right up here. Look straight up there. Right here. Okay. We had ourselves a big, big pocket of it. You know what, guys? That's going to make for a fantastic thumbnail. Right there. Look at that nice big pocket of galena. And turning back around, because remember, it's dipping. Look behind me. Right here. There it is there. Going down the same direction as travel as the incline shaft. I'll get a zoom in out real close for you. Sparkly. Probably one of the most sparkly mines I've been in a long time. Okay, what's up here? And anything? No, that's it. So they went off this direction to see if the vein carried on more to the south, and it didn't. It pinched out. Okay, turn it back around. As you can tell, guys, I'm having a lot of fun today. I love mines like this that have very, very good visible geology. I mean, just look at the vein structure of all that lead running through here. I mean, you know, in the early 1900s, they used lead for a lot of things. But because they weren't pulling the lead out of this mine, tells me they were specifically going after the silver or whatever it had, as far as silver goes. And they're leaving the lead behind. All right, I'm making my way past the incline without sliding down there. Let's just head back out and see if there's anything else that we may have missed. Now, the wind you hear in the microphone, it's super windy outside. This thing is acting like a wind tunnel coming in from the portal and blowing right straight up that incline shaft. Yeah, see, this right here is a lot more glinty, okay? And that's what they called it back in the day, was lead glint. And speaking of glint, so what I did is I went back to that pile where I found the more glintier type material, and I gathered up some more pieces, and I'll be offering that up over the coming weeks and months, little by little, so that all of you can get a piece of this. But understand that most of this is lead, so whatever you do, guys, just don't lick it, you know. Look at that right there. Just beautiful. Big old pocket of it. Okay, I'm going to head out towards the portal here. Hold on one second. I'm going to turn the camera around, point it back in the right direction. Got to remember, I'm a solo doing this out here, but I'm having fun doing it. All right, point that in the right direction. There we go. All right, and turn off the... Okay, guys. Well, now that was a lot of fun. like I was saying earlier, I had no idea that this was going to turn out to be a spectacular episode of galena. I knew that we could possibly find this type of material in this area because of all the old ancient lava flows, and indeed, we hit the gold mine of galena deposits today. All right, guys. Well, that's going to have to do it for today. And like I said earlier, here pretty quick, or even while you guys are watching this video, I might already be up in the Sheep Mountains trying to track down Kenny Veach. We'll see what I can come up with, because I'm shooting to have that episode or those episodes all put together before the first part of March, and that's when I'd like to get those up on YouTube. So thank you all again for putting in a super bid, helping the channel fill the piggy bank so that we can buy that drone. Thanks, guys, so much. It's so appreciated. You guys are the greatest. All right, well, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next weekend. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.